Kia ora everybody, toku ingoa Alice Kirker, and my whare karakia is Green Lane Christian Centre. I've been at Green Lane for about 3.5 going on 4 years now, and that is how I met Charles, who asked me to create this video for you to talk about waste at church. I really wanted to film it at church, but I've been quite unwell the past week, so I'm filming at home, so not the most delightful setup, but hopefully you get the idea. Yeah, so I've got a couple of points to share with you. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about why it's important for us to be talking about waste at church, and then I'm going to talk through 4 things that my church actually does to help to reduce waste, and then I'm going to share one final point with you, which is an idea I had for something our church could do. So first of all, the reason why it's so important for us to talk about waste at church is that I think potentially it's one of those things that gets pushed to the side a little bit. It feels like there's a lot of other missional work for us to be doing in our church, a lot of other big conversations to be happening, and waste tends to get pushed to the side. It's a huge global movement, like caring about the environment and environmental concerns, and I think particularly as Christians, you know, God has called us to be stewards of the earth, and I think stewards of the resources that He gives us, good stewards. And I'm thankful to be blessed with an amazing congregation of people who are lucky enough to have this incredible space that God's blessed us with. We have quite a big church that has a cafe attached to it, and along with that comes waste, and I feel like it's really important for us to acknowledge that as Christians, and be conscious of that and be doing what we can. So I guess that's why I think talking about waste in church is important. So the first thing that our church does to help to reduce waste, one of our core values is hospitality. We feel like it's really important, and I feel like most Christians feel this way, really important to make sure that people feel welcome at our church, and that they feel like connected straight away. And one of the ways we do that is we offer complimentary coffee and tea during our evening service, which is normally more when our young adults come. Food and drink are really good ways to give people something to do, so that they're not just standing there. They have something to engage with, and it's actually a way of connecting with people. So that's why we offer this coffee and tea, and sometimes bickies if you're lucky. And so one of the things that we used to use single-use cups. They were paper, but still, you know, it wasn't great. So now we still have cups available for new people, but all of our regulars bring their own reusable coffee cup. I have a keep cup, which I love. You can get keep cups in all different colours, and then you can have it for a lifetime. And there's heaps and heaps of different options in terms of reusable cups, but that's one way our church encourages people to waste less. And then in the same vein, we have this wonderful initiative at our church called Sunday Best. So on the first and third Sunday of every month, after the evening service again, we gather everybody together in our cafe, and we offer delicious kai at really reasonable prices. So it's just another way for our community to come together, just as Jesus did, bring people around a big table or a couple of big tables, and enjoy some food together. And so what we do is, if you bring along your own plate or bowl or whatever, and your own cup, because we do smoothies, then you get a 50-cent discount. So you save some money, and people are reusing, and people are really gotten involved with it. It's quite a fun thing, I don't know, to compare what you've brought versus what someone else has brought. So that's another way that our church is encouraging less waste. Another way that our church is wasting less is that previously our worship team, every week, we have 3 services. Every week our worship leaders would print off all the charts for the songs that are needed, which, I mean, that added up to maybe 30 or 40 pieces of paper being printed every week. So now we're encouraging members of our worship team, wonderful worship band, to keep their charts and reuse them. And I think what we're hoping to do eventually is to move to an electronic method so that we aren't having to waste paper. It's important to note that there is still waste in electronics. We live in a world where consumerism is, rampant, and so just buying new electronics every 6 months or a year when the new model comes out is no better. I mean, if anything, it's worse, because metal and electronics are really difficult to produce, and they create a lot of waste when they do, or use up a lot of resource when you do make them. But I still think it's if you can find technology that is going to last you ages, and you're going to take care of it, and you're not buying into the consumer of replacing your technology every year, that's the way to go over paper. Other things we do at our church, of course, it seems like the most obvious one, but I see this. I worked in an office and they didn't have recycling. It was crazy. Recycling is so easy. It's easy to do in your homes, it's easy to do at work, and it's super easy to do at church, and it's such an easy way for us to be good stewards of what we have. So we make sure that there's recycling bins available, especially in our kitchen. We have really clear recycling bins. Once a month I cook food for Pulse. We have, which is our young adults community, so 18 to 25-ish young adults. So I cook a big bunch of kai, and I keep all of the food scraps that I create from doing that, and I deliver them to my friend who lives really close to church, who has chickens. So they get a feast and I'm not wasting anything, which I think is another way to appreciate the, everything, and use everything that we've been given. So those are just a few ideas. One idea I had in particular for my church, which we haven't done yet, but I'm fingers crossed that this might happen this year or next year. At the moment we have communion, and we have little plastic communion cups, and I don't know, we have anywhere between 600 and 1,000 attendees at our church every Sunday over the 3 services. So that's a lot of plastic cups that end up in the bin. So I thought it would be really cool if we had like a communal bowl of wine, let's be honest, it's grape juice, that everybody could just dip their bread into, and we would be, I don't know, it feels more like communion because you'd be sharing a bowl together, from a bowl together. But yeah, that was just a little idea I had. I'd love to know what else is out there, what other ideas people have, because I'm sure there's heaps. I hope that was useful. Thank you so much for joining me to talk a little bit about waste in church. I hope that I was able to share a little bit of insight into what our church does, and maybe give you guys some ideas. Enjoy all the other videos that are going up, and have wonderful weeks. Bye!